Hello and welcome to the third lecture where we are going to discuss question number 3, that is, do you think marriage as a sacrament is losing its value in modern India? So now the keywords here are marriage. The keyword here is modern India. Now to answer this question, I can go for two approaches. The first approach is, yes, you can say that yes, marriage as an institution, it is losing its value. Second approach will be my more balanced approach, where I'm going to emphasize on the positive aspects of marriage also, where, and the second I'm going to talk about the negative aspect, and then based on the positive and the negative I am going to draw a conclusion. Is it clear to you? So these are these two approaches that I may follow while writing an answer. Now the most favorable will be the second approach, because now if you try to understand it, I'm talking about the positive part also, I'm going to talk about the negative part also, which is going to make my answer very inclusive in approach. So let us discuss our first approach, where I'm going to talk about the yes part, that yes, that marriage as a sacrament is losing its value in the modern India. So now how I'm going to start with it, since it's a 10 marker question, so I may not write the introduction, I can write what is the demand of the question. So I can write it that yes, marriage as a sacrosanct is losing its value because of significant changes due to several factors. Then I can start writing the first point, that is rise of cohabitation. So rise of cohabitation means that you will see lot of live-in relationships. Can be seen in today's time. So if you talk about live-in relationship, so this is a relationship where couples stay together without any formal marriage, and this particular concept, it is more acceptable in the urban areas. Okay, this particular concept, though it is acceptable in the urban areas, but if you see in the broader perspective of the society, it basically challenges the traditional sacrosanct of your marriage. And in this, just because it do not have any legal force, because now your marriage is not registered, so it may happen that there is no responsibility also. Is it clear to you? There is no responsibility also. Second reason you can talk about it, that yes, rise in divorce rate. And now if you are saying that there is rise in divorce rate, you have to give some data. Is it okay? What data? So I can use according to National Family Health Survey of 2019 to 2018. There the rate of divorce rate is increasing, and the rate has doubled since 2001. So it has increased since 2001 from 0.7% to 1.5%. Okay, and one of the reason, you may say, that now the couples, they are not enduring unhappy marriages. Is it okay? If you go back in time, when your parents got married, you will see there was lot of sacrifices. Yes or no? And now the divorce rate at that point of time was low, because now people would know that if I come out of the marriage, so they will bring or invite shame to their family. But the today's couple, they are not like that. Is it okay? They prefer more compatible relationships. So any relationship that is enforceable on them, it is not acceptable. That is why the divorce rate is increasing. Yes. Third point you can talk about is changing attitude towards general roles. So now we have seen the concept of women empowerment will come into picture, and I have discussed in my classes also that now the woman, when she will be educated, she will be looking for job, and this job will give her financial independence. Yes or no? And once she will be financially independent, her dependency on her husband will reduce it. Is it no? And once a dependency will reduce it, do you think that there will be a change in attitude? The answer is yes. So this woman empowerment is basically is going to challenge the patriarchal system. Yes or no? It is going to challenge the patriarchal system. And now what will happen if I'm talking about women empowerment? So education, then women will be more focused towards their career. Now they would seek equality. They would seek equality in the marriages also. Is it okay? And once after all this, when I'm talking about there is a change in the attitude, now they are going to talk about their own privacy. Now they are going to talk about their own autonomy, their own life, their own choices. All these things they are going to talk about it. So basically, if you try to see it from the traditional lens, now this equation was there. But over a period of time, with women empowerment, now women are also going for this. So that is why it is changing the value of a marriage as an institution. Second is delayed marriages, and basically this concept you will see in the urban areas. Is it okay? Why in the urban areas? Because now people want to want to get education, then people want to pursue their career opportunities that may come in future. And since you also fall into this particular age group where you want to delay your marriage because now you are an aspirant, and now you want to marry only if you clear this examination, yes or no? So either you will clear UPSC civil services, or you say any government job, yes or no? Then many have this dream also that they want to get married in Lbsnaa, yes or no? So all these things, they are changing the values of the marriage as an institution. Next, fifth point, if you see, this is changing expectations is also seen. What is changing expectations? Now if you talk about the modern couples, so modern couples, they seek more of a companionship. Companionship means what? Permanent roommates, yes or no? Then they are also seeking for fulfillment emotional fulfillment. Third important aspect is shared responsibilities. Is it okay? If you try to talk about the traditional couples, so their emphasis was more on the traditional norms and rituals. Is it okay? So modern couple, they basically wanted to promote the idea of Article 14, equality before law, because now they do not want any kind of discrimination. But the traditional system was such that here men used to dominate over women. That was the thing. If you try to understand it, see this movie Key and Ka, where uh, gender roles have been changed. Next is influence of Western culture. Yes, because now these couple, they will be exposed to Western style of living. Western style of living. And how it is going to influence it? It is going to influence through social media, because internet has no boundaries. Social media, then in the era of globalization, it is very easy to be influenced by the Western culture. Then there are couples who approach, or who adopt more secular approach. Now if you want to see this, so girls and boys, if you ask your parents that you want to get to a foreigner, will they accept it? The chances will be no. So if you see Preeti Zinta, then if you see Priyanka Chopra, yes or no? If you see all these things, so they have been adopting a very secular approach, yes or no? Are these points clear to you? So it may happen that your parents may be okay with it, but the chances of saying no is very, very high. So all these, and important this thing, that this Western culture is more open. It is very, very open. It is very, very liberal. Is it okay? And that is why the Indian marriages, or the Indian marriage as an institution, may not be that much open, may not be that much liberal. Is it clear to you? So what you can write in the conclusion? So you can write it that yes, marriage as an institution is vital in the Indian society, but then this institution has to evolve so as to accommodate the changing needs, aspirations, urges of individuals. Is it okay? Of the rituals that were followed during your parents' marriage, it may happen that you may not follow that. So you can see destination wedding. So destination wedding during your parents' time was not affordable, but now since you have, let's say, if you belong to that rich category, elite category, you can go for a destination wedding also. So changing needs and aspirations. So this institution has to accommodate. Also, it has to include broader societal shifts occurring in modern India. Now after marriage, girls should be allowed to take up job also, because now you understand inflation. So now when the inflation is rising, you cannot say that okay, only husband should able to earn money. Now women also wanted to contribute. So that is why, if this has to happen, and this will only happen in the modern India, if this has to happen, they has to be allowed to go out of the house. Is it clear to you? So all these things you can talk about in this particular aspect. Remember this, that it has to include some data. So based on your data, you can talk about these things. Okay. Second approach will be more inclusive, where I'm going to talk about the positive reasons as well as the negative reasons. Okay. The first is individual choice and compatibility. Okay. In this you can talk about that yes, modern Indian marriages, they prioritize individual compatibility over traditional arranged marriages. Yes or no? Is it okay? So now they do not fall into this trap of traditional arranged marriages. Now they want to seek what is if there is individual compatibility or not, and that is why they go for love marriages. Yes or no? Now you can use this point in a positive also, negative also. Is it clear to you? And when I'm saying individual compatibility, they basically wanted to marry for love and emotional connection. Is it okay? Lifelong companionship. You can use this point also. Second point will be related to the gender equality, because now if you see that men they are more liberal, men are more liberal to accommodate shared responsibilities. Is it okay? Then decision making, then financial contribution. See, all these things will only happen because now if these people will have exposure, if you try to see it from the rural lens, these things may not be there, because now the people may not be exposed to such concepts. Is it clear to you? So if this is there, this is going to lead to, you can write, this is going to lead to healthier and more egalitarian relationships. Is it okay? Because now here no one is going to dominate over other. So gender equality can also will come under positive reasons. Yes. Then third point, you can talk about intercaste and interreligious marriages, because now basically if you go for intercaste marriages, it may happen that you are going away from the stigmas, because now the emphasis is more on the compatibility, emphasis is more on the companionship, and now you want to get out of the stigma or go away from the stigma. So if you are going this, so it may happen that break away from rigid traditions. Yes or no? Okay, now once this will happen, again from the broader societal perspective, this is going to promote your social integration. Then it is going to reduce discrimination, article 15 if you remember. Okay, and it is going to foster unity in diverse society. Is it okay? So these are these things which are attached with the traditional value system. Now you want to move out of it and you want to accept the modern value system, which talks about companionship, which talks about friendship, which talks about egalitarian relationships. This you can talk about it. Next, if you talk about the negative reasons, so you can talk about that yes, there is a rise in divorce rates, so which is going to put question on the stability of the marriages. It is going to put a question on the longevity of modern marriages. Again, give some data to argue. So if you try to see, you can use this in the positive part also, provided you have a data. You can use this in the negative aspect also, again if you have a data. Next is materialism and consumerism. So you know that few marriages, they are influenced by extravagant wedding expenses, कि भाई destination wedding करनी है. Okay, then if you see in Bihar, you will see there is lot of dowry demands also. So if there is lot of dowry demands, and now if say the girl, though her roots is from Bihar, but now she has been educated from America, do you think that she will promote this idea of dowry? So in that sense, what will happen? So marriage may not be stabilized enough. Is it okay? So basically extravagant wedding, this leads to, this is something related to your social status is attached to this. Once you'll go to Lbsnaa, lot of allied people will approach you, and you will see that in your marriage lot of this extravagant expenses will be there. But it may happen that you may not be happy with that girl or boy, because now you're not connected on an emotional level, rather the emphasis was more on the societal part. So you can talk about this also. Example mein, as far as I remember, there was this incident from this movie called Two States. Is it okay? When Alia Bhatt, she went to that I think brides went to the boy and see that you have to have that capability to get a car, rather you are asking it this in dowry. Okay, third point, you can talk about shift towards nuclear families, and as well as this is happening because of urbanization. Is it okay? This is happening because now, why urbanization? Because now people from the rural part of India, they go to the urban part of India to pursue job, to pursue education. Yes or no? So now once they will settle in a city like Mumbai or Delhi, definitely they are not going to stay in the villages. Is it okay? So then if you try to see, and there was this serial, I remember, Balika Vadhu. The concept was child marriage, but once this particular boy, he came out of the rural part and tried to settle in the urban part of India. Now the urban values were more accepted to him than the rural part of India. So now he definitely want a girl from the urban part rather than the rural part. Is it okay? So now when he is going there, the shift is moving towards the nuclear families rather than the joint family. Okay, I know someone. So now this particular girl, she got married to a Mallu boy, and now their home is in Hyderabad. But now their flat is in Hyderabad, but now they decided that even after marriage, we are not going to stay in the same flat, rather we'll rent a flat for our own self. Is it okay? Next, fourth important thing is social media and technology. Here you can talk about globalization, yes or no? And if you try to understand it, that your Tinder, okay, or your Bumblebee, all this is influencing your marriage also. Because now if you are unhappy, you want to frame a relationship out of your marriage also. Is it okay? Because now you understand that coming out of the marriage will bring a lot of shame, lot of insult to your family. So that is how you will try to frame a relationship out of this marriage. This you can talk about it. Then second important point you can talk about under this is that influence lead to superficial and short-lived relationship. कि भाई the focus is more on the appearance. Okay, bank balance, car, flat, okay, and instant gratification. So when I'm talking about this, that if the boy has a, let's say, flat, if he has a car, if he has a bungalow, so all these things are used as a limelight and put it on the social media. So these things are very, very temporary in nature. So the focus is on these things rather than deep spiritual or emotional connections. Yes or no? These points you can talk under social media and technology. Next, then marriage as a social obligation. So basically, individual, in an ideal case, individual should marry when he is settled, isn't when his income is stabilized. But now these individuals, they marry because now they want to fulfill your social expectations. So now the choice is more societal rather than personal. Is it clear to you? Now in conclusion, what you can write it. So now if you try to see this, that when I'm saying marriage as an institution, so marriage as an institution has to evolve with values like compatibility, then friendship, then companionship, then shared responsibilities. Is it okay? So now what is happening, this institution is traditional in nature. Is it okay? Whereas the couples, they are trying to be more liberal in nature. They are more open to new ideas. That is why you will see that there is a gap between this institution and the couples, and that is why marriage as an institution is losing its value. And you may put it in the conclusion that yes, with the changing world, demands are changing, and in order to stabilize the marriage as an institution, this institution has to accommodate the modern value system. And this particular modern value system, this has to keep in mind, or there has to be a balance between the traditionality, or you may say there has to be a balance between the modernity. Is this clear to you? So in this particular frameworks, the data is missing. So as you are going to cover your current affairs, you can make more elaborative, more descriptive points. The one question that I want to address here is that how relevant are these answers? To make you understand the relevancy of these answers, I want to talk about that. See, these answers are just frameworks. Is it okay? And it may happen that in an exam like condition, these points may not come to you. Is it okay? So that is why you have to practice it. So whatever I'm going to deliver it is not complete. Why it is not complete? Because now in this you may not get data. In this you may not get diagrams. Is it okay? You may not get facts. So it becomes your duty to collect to these and put it in these frameworks. And once you are using these frameworks, it will help you in your essays also. It will help you to solve your previous year questions also. So as and when we proceed, you will be able to understand it that yes, with these frameworks, it will be easy for you to come up with new points. Is it clear to you? So thank you so much. If you're liking this video, just tell me in the comment section. Okay.